Hello and happy St. Patrick's Day from, hate to admit it, frigid Buffalo. Don't you love it when people say, I'm not going to lie, and they say something completely normal that you would never think they would be lying when they said it? I was at a draft on Sunday, and one guy literally said, I don't care what anyone thinks, Whitney Houston had a great singing voice. It is St. Patrick's Day. ADP Chasing is here. Kyler Murray and Jaylen Waddle, and lots of news to go through. Jacob Sanderson, Davis Maddock, our heroes are in position. No Pat on St. Patrick's Day. Somehow, is it a protest?
Tough.
There's no way to find out. This tassel is going to fall off before the night is out. Thanks for watching. Mike Shope here with Jacob and Davis and listening. March 17th, 2026. ADP Chasing is ready to go.
ADP Chasing is for when you watch Ship Chasing, you go, these guys are just football guys.
I have my 4% exposure blanket.
Stay poor.
Actually back in if it's Achane.
Stare into our crystal ball. Close your eyes, all your entries are going to lose anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're not going to tell me how this went. I was here.
It's anti-cabal. It's the best ball thought leaders. I'm obviously lying to some degree because, I have a lot of both of these guys.
It's the most disgusting pick you can make. But, man.
Well, Jacob at least seems in the spirit.
Jacob's on board. Were the Toronto St. Pats a hockey team?
You want to take this one, or should I?
A curling club?
That was the name of the Leafs. Way back.
If you dare to turn us off right now and turn on the Leafs game, they are wearing this uniform.
Yeah, they wear these every year. They way back in the Leafs history, they have gone as the Toronto Arenas, and they've gone as the Toronto St. Pats. And so they wear their St. Pat's jerseys. I don't know if you've seen them, Davis, or not, but they're the best jerseys.
I'm on eBay right now looking at used Toronto St. Patrick's NHL St. Pat's licensed white green. They're pretty good. Obviously I'm hoping one that's not an Austin Matthews jersey, and so far striking out on that.
Good luck on that. I have my Boston Celtics shirt.
James Van
my full green suit. We got Guinness flowing.
The night is young, and
I want to support more than the Irish.
British Columbia.
Man, I'm running bad. I must have, in one of my times cleaning out all my closets of all my junk, I must have gotten rid of my certified white boy triple platinum Darty jersey. I do not have a 33 Larry Bird Celtics jersey anywhere until my new Fanatics one gets here that I got for $9.99. That is going to be here at some point this week. I'm wearing the Seals jersey. Yeah.
Green is good. It's the way. I have this hat, Jacob, because I'm not a Leafs fan. I used to be, but I went to a Leafs game on a work trip on a bus with fans and former players. It was great. And we got to our seats, or we got to the arena, and they passed out these hats as like a, souvenir. And that was cool. And we got to our seats, and we were ready for the pregame ceremony to honor, I believe the name was Busher Jackson. And then word made its way around the arena. He had died just before the ceremony. So that actually, I think that's my version of 20 years now, or probably more, but that is, I believe, what happened there. That's a tough way to, start a night, really. Just poor Bush.
Yeah, that way to bring down the vibe there, Show.
Is that what I did? We're all healthy and
we're going to get it back up. We're going to get it back up.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it back up.
How many super chats do we need to get full one-touched Guinness on this program? I'll do one for every two.
Oh,
yeah, that's a dangerous.
I'll do the first one. I'll do the first one for 2, second one for 4, third one for 8. It goes up like that. It scales.
That's a dangerous road to go down. Isn't it it's 2 p.m. where you are? It's
4:36. It's 4:36.
It's not going to be my money. So
I'm ready to reward the generosity of our listeners.
Well, a good way to turn the vibe around would be to show the first slide, which is tremendous stuff by our man, Zach Lenars.
Nice.
It is.
And it is St. Patrick's Day theme. There it is. The Lepra Kings.
Oh, it's really good stuff. Yeah. It's very, very good. Wandale got his bag. Kyler Murray is a Viking. I think I'm taking umbrage with Tutu Atwell being the new Miami wide receiver 1. I think Luther Burden's more productive collegiate teammate, Theo Wees Jr.
Oh boy,
is going to toss his hat in that ring. Potentially 2023 Texas Tech third leading wide receiver, Taj Washington, might toss his hat in that ring. Darren Waller might toss his hat in that ring. I mean, can Jawan Jennings go sign?
Jr.?
Theo Wees Jr.
Just put Davis's name down. Put his name down on Davis's last call team right now. Theo, if you're calling the possible wide receiver 1 in Miami Theo Wees Jr., just draft him. Come on.
I'm going to get a shot as anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you are not mining the depths of the Miami Dolphins roster in last call, let me just say, you don't know ball. That's basically.
You want access to their 21 pass attempts per game?
I'm choosing to believe in something. Are you looking
forward to Malik Washington having a 25% target share, but it's 82 targets?
I was actually hoping you could refresh my memory on this because I could not remember what was the Brock Osweiler salary dump season. Do you remember that? When was that?
Oh, like what year was he traded to the Browns?
Was that 2016?
Well, the Broncos won the Super Bowl in 2015, so he would have signed with the Texans in 2016, and he would have been dumped in 2017.
Okay, so so I want the 2017 Cleveland Browns, and he never started for them, but so I want the 2017 Browns.
That would have been like the Terrell Pryor Browns, right?
You're off by a year. It's even worse. It is Deshaun Kaiser. So when you're asking yourself,
wasn't Pryor the lead wide receiver on that team, or no?
No. If you can,
their lead wide receiver was Duke Johnson. But if you have to pick a wide receiver, the most targets by a receiver on that team was Ricardo Lewis with 61.
No fucking chance you just pulled out Ricardo Lewis. I mean, all right, everyone.
Well, I was on Pro Football Reference.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't doing it.
I was also on Pro Football Reference.
I would take credit for. I wish I could, but no chance.
No. If you want to go back in time, if you really want to put yourself in a portal,
here we go. David Njoku.
Rashard Higgins versus Corey Coleman versus Kenny Britt. I bet if you go in the annals of fantasy football podcasting history, you could probably find over 100 hours of podcasting and over 50,000 words spilled on Rashard Higgins, Corey Coleman, and Kenny Britt, the 5th, 6th, and 7th leading target earners on, I believe, a winless. A winless. I couldn't remember if they won a game or not. A winless Deshaun Kaiser-led team. So if you're asking yourself, how bad can things get for the 2026 Miami Dolphins? We're talking about basically the only starting level player on the entire team being DeVon Achane, and Achane
he's gone
himself.
Too.
He might leave as well.
That's what I was going to say. So I was looking at this earlier, and I can move this slide here ahead.
I didn't even know Seth DeValve was a person. Like, I have no recollection of Seth DeValve. I could have been like Bane in the pit, and someone would have been like, "You'll only escape if you can name the tight end for the Cleveland Browns in 2016." And I would never have gotten Seth DeValve.
I would have guessed Gary Barnidge, who was on Amazing Race. That would have been my guess. A little bit earlier than this, right?
Gary Barnidge was after that, right?
He was, okay. I think he was. I thought before that, because wasn't he the Brian Hoyer season with Mike Patton?
13.
I guess honestly I don't remember. My computer screen is
I pulled up Gary Barnage's pro ref. That was it was 2 years earlier. 2015 was when he had the 1,000-yard season.
Yeah. I mean, just truly incredible.
I love Njoku being on that board. I mean, he's in the news today.
So we can do
so long ago, Davis. It seems so long ago. Njoku, like that team is all names from the distant past. But there's Njoku at 21. He's the number 1 tight end on that team.
Isn't that so funny?
He's still being drafted, which I think is good.
So he visited the Baltimore Ravens today, I think.
Yeah. Our man Pat, who was not here, had a great line. He's like, "Wow, his knee is that bad?"
So but just I'm going to real quick address this. The reason that we think that DeVon Achane is certainly available for a trade is that the Dolphins have traded absolutely every piece that is not tied down. They've cut all of their long-term money. I think there is this idea that Malik Willis signed a huge contract. It's kind of a Justin Fields style contract. They can get out of it whenever. It's $67 million total guaranteed. They
Why
can
did
get
they
out
do
of
it?
No, it's 45 guaranteed. It's 67 total. It's because the third year is a team option essentially. So they're in for this year. They paid him for next year. Why do they do it, Shop? I think it's a great contract for the Dolphins. I don't see the problem with it. Like they get him cheap this year. This year doesn't even matter anyways. They're not trying to do anything. If Willis sucks this year, oh well. They're not trying to compete next year. They eat a little bit of dead money. Big whoop. They move on and get a different quarterback. It's not hamstringing them at all in 2028 and beyond, and barely in 2027. And if he's good, then awesome. You have cost-controlled $22 million quarterback on the books for 2027 and 2028. So I think it's pretty much all upside, no downside for Miami on the Malik Willis deal, especially considering that, like, if the downside is he plays badly this year, that's not downside. This team has no aspirations whatsoever this season.
It's some amount of downside. Who wanted him? I wonder too. Like the easy connection is the head coach was in Green Bay, Halfley last year, but coaches don't get that long, even in Miami. I just wonder what it looks like in a year if they win their 4.5 games and, draft in the top 5, and maybe it's even higher than that. And
then it looks like probably a new quarterback.
Then I guess it was worth it, or it was just something to get you through the night. I don't know.
I mean, you have to start someone, and so like to me, if you don't have any aspirations, and you have to start somebody at quarterback, I would rather start someone with some theoretical upside than start Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
why not take a shot on Malik Willis? Like
Malik Willis might be really good, and if he's a B- quarterback, and you decide like, oh, we can take Arch or we could take whoever, then you can very easily trade him. He's a fungible asset. He's on a team-friendly contract. If he stinks, no sweat up your back. You're not going to be good anyway. And if he's A+, then you're in a great situation. If he's an A+, then you found your quarterback. I basically view this as a no lose spot for the Miami Dolphins.
Are you guys drafting him?
I'll tell you, I was drafting him pretty aggressively up until this point. He's right about at market in my rankings now. What I am concerned about, and by the way, I think there are 3 teams that can conceivably trade or would conceivably trade their first round pick or a first round pick for DeVon Achane. It is the Seahawks, who are picking at 32. Who cares? It's 32. The Dallas Cowboys, because it's just such a Dallas Cowboys move to trade a first round pick for a running back. And the Minnesota Vikings.
That's the one.
Minnesota Vikings, where they have huge savings because they're paying their quarterbacks nothing, and they can afford to give Achane the extension as a result of that. And the whole KOC thing, really the whole Shanahan thing, the whole tree doesn't work without a running game. And I don't really know if Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones and not Ty Chandler anymore and not Cam Akers anymore. Yeah. They have to reserve their 7th round pick for next season for trading for Cam Akers conditionally in the middle of the season. Also, I just maybe this is me. Curious your guys' thoughts on this. Teams wouldn't trade a 3rd for Breece Hall, but we'll trade a 1st for Achane. Yeah. I mean, to me, these are different calibers of players.
A 1st for Achane for me is nuts.
I think
like
if
Minnesota.
Any team would trade a 1st for Achane, I don't think he would be on the Dolphins.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm thinking if it is going to happen, it's going to be those 3 teams, and I would bet the Dolphins hold off for a 1st. I'll toss that to you, Jacob.
I think they're not getting a 1st.
Me too.
Or anything close.
If you're the Seahawks, 32 for Achane.
No.
Who are you picking at 32 who improves your offense, who improves you materially? I know running backs don't matter, whatever.
You can just take a defensive player or
right.
do whatever. You don't have to take
you could just take a defensive player. I mean, you can.
Take an offensive lineman.
I think the Chiefs drafting CEH have affected the strategy of that pick for many years still to come.
No Super Bowl team will ever take a running back again.
Unless you're hosting the draft.
I was so pro any team trading a third for Breece Hall. I'm not like team never pay running backs, don't trade for running backs. Like I would support the Seahawks trading their second for Achane or something like that. But a first, that's just too much.
I would say Minnesota too.
As someone who is drafting Kenneth Walker, just absolutely slurping the Walkerino all over the place, I got a real. I need to do hand on shoulder meme for Kenneth Walker and DeVon Achane being in the same conversation. Achane to me is like, and maybe I'm on an island here on this program with this, but to me he is like a Jamal Charles, Chris Johnson level influence. At peak Alvin Kamara maybe is a better comp of just like he's kind of an offensive engine in and of himself.
I mean, you would have a better point if the Miami Dolphins ever did a dang thing, despite having DeVon Achane on their team being great.
They were like
their offensive engine.
First off, they led the NFL in yards per play his rookie season. Second,
and then like
NFL running back led the league in touchdowns. A different running back.
So their best season with DeVon Achane, who rocks. Like I have nothing bad to say about DeVon Achane. He's fantastic, but like on a team that also featured Jaylen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and had a great offensive play caller, they won 0 playoff games. And then the next 2 years with Achane in a more featured role, being awesome, they were like a non-playoff team and then another non-playoff team.
That's running backs for you.
I'm not here to argue about DeVon Achane. I mean, I am here to argue about DeVon Achane, but I'm willing to just keep my opinion and not change it and move on.
I think Minnesota is the right spot, and it's just not a first-round pick, especially where they draft. So if Miami wants to move, you don't do it on the same day as Waddle, but you could do it soon, and I think that makes sense for both.
Yeah.
I'm here for Minnesota trading a second for DeVon Achane. I can get behind
me too.
That.
Agreed.
What happens to his ADP if they do that?
Way up.
Yeah.
What is it now? Like 13?
I don't know. I haven't come close to clicking him.
He has not gone. I mean, I've done about 50 drafts today, and he has not gone in the first in any of them. I don't think.
What is his ADP? Because I have him buried, which makes me sad. Like he's like he's like one of the all-time thinking players from as a rookie and everything. But like this is bleak to me. Like his value is derived from explosive runs and receiving. He's going to be facing like 9-man boxes the entire year in Miami against a team that poses 0 passing threat. And they're going to throw like 400 pass attempts for a quarterback who wants to throw deep, not check down constantly, right? He's going to scramble a lot instead of checking down constantly. So yeah, I mean, I think it's like a nightmare scenario for him in fantasy. I think he's one of the biggest fades, which sucks. So I would love him to get traded elsewhere because I would love to be in on Achane.
That could save him. You can't be later than the mid-second, though, can he? I mean, 20 is the.
I think
a lot lower than that.
I've not adjusted my rankings because I basically haven't had time to do anything. I've been on shows since the thing happened.
Here, I'll pull it up.
I think I'm going to move him to 21.
His ADP is 12.8, but I have him ranked at I think 30. But that was even before this trade. I've had him as a full fade.
12.8.
I have him at 24, and he's at 12.8.
All right. Well, 13 was close. The slide is Waddle to Denver. How are we projecting the passing game in Denver? Is everybody other than Sutton, who was already on this team, dead as a receiver?
Oh, yeah. No? Franklin,
yeah.
Bryant, Mims, Ingram. These dudes are gonzo.
So what's the target share?
27%, 20%, and a bunch of guys with 8%.
I think the first thing you have to decide on, and I wrote it up today, is what's the route distribution? Because historically, Peyton offenses, there's one wide receiver who runs all the routes, and then there's a lot of interchange between that. And that's what it's been. That's what it was with New Orleans, and that's what it's been in Denver, where it's been Sutton runs every route, and everybody else kind of alternates. And so I think the first question, if you're getting out the projection spreadsheet, is are there now 2 every down wide receivers, and there's a rotational third wide receiver, Or is it Waddle is living in the 80% route range? Or is it Sutton is down to the 80% route range? And I think that really influences it in a big way. I would guess that we're close to 2 full-time receivers and the third receiver rotates. But I do think how the routes distribute matters a lot. Like, I'm already seeing a too many mouths to feed in the chat, which is my least favorite fantasy football saying by 10 miles. But like, too many mouths to feed is not a real thing if you're the player who's locked into routes and just who's running the routes against you keeps alternating. But it is a thing if you're losing routes to guys. And so I do think it's reasonable to have some concerns. Like, Waddle's always had lower route shares than other full-time wide receivers at Miami. He's only ran over 500 routes twice in his career. He had low route shares at Alabama relative to his draft capital as well. Spends a ton of time in the blue medical tent just for random reasons during games, even when he doesn't actually miss time. So anyway, it's a long way of describing. I would guess that Waddle is in like the low 20s and Sutton is around the high teens. And then whoever that third wide receiver is probably winds up at like 15, but it's like an aggregate of 3 guys. And then you get a high running back target share as well.
Is there somebody whose style is best suited to be, if Denver wanted to rein in their route tree? Is there somebody, is it Bryant who's maybe the best suited to be their third if it's not all split meaninglessly?
Yeah. I mean, I think Franklin is just not going to play at all. He was the guy who played a lot early in the season. He got a lot of chances. He's never been efficient on his chances. And he got scaled down for Pat Bryant later in the year. And he's the one who's most duplicative, I think, with Waddle from a skill set perspective. So I think Franklin is going to either be traded or permabenched. And then I think Bryant will be the wide receiver 3 primarily. And Mims is going to continue to have rotational value as like a gadgety player.
Does he return kicks even maybe, Franklin? But okay.
I have no idea.
Mims is like a really good kick returner, so probably not.
Interesting. Okay. Davis, what do you think? Denver?
I mean, I think I learned today on my stream that there is a huge contingent of the right wing slapsis that really likes Courtland Sutton, and they are doing the now Sutton gets number 2 corners. It's going to open like, again, hand on shoulder meme there. Like, if you want 838 yards and 4 to 8 touchdowns, depending on how lucky he gets, then you should love Courtland Sutton. If you want some Xavier worthy ass production, you should take Courtland Sutton in fantasy football. Derogatory brackets.
So I don't. Have you guys updated your rankings yet? I'm seeing that Pat did. I'm seeing the leg off stuff. I don't have it as wide of a split, probably for some of the route concern reasons that I raised. So I have Waddle 39 overall, wide receiver 19. I have Sutton at 99 overall. I don't know what that is in wide receiver rankings. I see Pat, for the audio listeners, and leg up has them at 28 and 120. I mean, I wish Pat was on this. I'm fascinated because Pat and I have argued about Waddle for years, and I think more highly of him as a talent than Pat does, like by a lot. So I'm pretty shocked that I'm around behind him. But I think that might be some of the route stuff of just like the Peyton tendencies and Waddle's tendencies to, like, if you look through his game logs, like he almost never runs 90% of the routes. Even as a full-time guy, he like lives in like the 80 to 85 range. And part of that's McDaniel. Like, he did similar things with Tyreek Hill, but this has been similar again, like going all the way back to Alabama. 28 seems frothy for me, even as a Waddle fan.
And part of that is the blue tent, the aforementioned blue tent. We have Waddle leaving a game for 20 minutes, many memories of that.
If you want the bull case for Waddle, the thing I would say, I put this in the column too, like Malik Willis has a career high of 23 pass attempts in a game in 8 games that he's either started or played the majority of stats in. If I put this in the column, if you were to increase that from 23 to 25, so you're saying more attempts than he's ever had in a single game, and then we average that through a full season. And then Waddle's career high in target share is 25. So we'll also give him 2 more percentage points of target share. We're going to give him 27% target share and 25 pass attempts per game. That gets you to 115 targets in 17 games. Versus if we just give Jaylen Waddle his median target share across his career of 23 against Denver's pass attempts from last year, which was 613 total, he gets up to 143 targets, despite being 4 points lower in target share. So I think it's unequivocally a huge win for Waddle compared to where he was going to be. But yeah, 28, that's high for me.
I mean,
did you skip over the Kyler slide, by the way? If you want to go back to that, that's fine.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do Kyler. Let's do Kyler to Minnesota. Leg Up has him at 128, so they're now behind ADP. I actually have Kyler. I think I have Kyler at 112, so almost now exactly. I have not adjusted my Waddle Sutton stuff. I think I'm going to move.
127 on Kyler. I'm going to
move
to get up to ADP.
Waddle closer to where you have him than where Pat has him. Like, I'm not. My line would be like, do I want Luther Burden or Jaylen Waddle? And I'm like, I don't know. I probably want Luther Burden. So right about 40, 39.
Well, I have Luther Burden ranked at a very different place than some other people, but yeah. I do have Burden ahead of Waddle.
So how this is going to play out is Jacob, I think they might not even pretend that this is a quarterback competition. I think
no, they're not pretending.
I think they're not going to pretend. I think it's basically going to be, JJ, we tried. You were too bad. You were just way too bad. and Kyler at his worst. Like Kyler, like the last 2 years of like, oh my God, this guy stinks. The Cardinals stink. The whole team stinks. Kyler was not outside the top 20 quarterbacks in EPA per play. It's just
he's totally starting. It's not even.
He's
it's
totally.
Not even
he's
conversation.
totally starting.
He's starting. I just moved him up to 110. I don't know why I had him as low as I did. I think his ADP used to be lower. It's probably why I had him lower. But I've corrected that.
Is that higher or lower than last year?
Like 20 spots lower. He was in the 90s last year.
Yeah, he went right around where Bo Nix did, like in the end of the 8th. He was like the 8-9 turn.
All right,
Fields by a couple rounds. Maybe
I'm gonna reach across the aisle. I'm actually, in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, I'm gonna reach across the aisle.
What is this? What does this mean?
To the Call of Duty bros. To the aren't you worried that he had to have an independent study contract clause, bros? I'm gonna reach across the aisle. So let's say you guys are right. And let's say the Heisman Trophy winning 10th overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft. Let's say this guy, that you guys are right, that he's actually very lazy and stupid and not good. So let's just grant that. He is on a $1 million veteran minimum contract. The only way that Kyler can increase his future earning potential is to play out of his mind this year. Okay, well, how's Kyler going to play out of his mind? And the easiest thing for him to do is just run, right? I mean, that's the number one way that Kyler can increase his future earning potential, win games, create good stuff, is to run. So I'm reaching across the aisle to you, bros, and I'm saying you don't have to count on his arm. You don't have to count on anything. You can just say it's going to be KOC, spamming up, easy stuff, and Kyler running. You get 600 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. You get some, free points to Justin Jefferson. You look up, and all of a sudden, he's the quarterback 10 in fantasy football.
We deserve this.
That's me reaching across the aisle.
We deserve this. As fantasy players, we deserve Kyler Murray to be in a better situation with one of the best 4 receivers in the NFL, and splash some water on your face. I'm a big guy now. I'm an adult, and let's go reestablish who I really am. I think we deserve to be right on this.
Smart football people who are smarter than me pointed out that basically, like, he and Drew Petzig were an awful schematic fit. Petzig wanted to do all this like below center stuff, and like, okay, Kyler's short, like maybe he probably should have more space to see and move and like weave around. Maybe you don't want him under center. And the entire Petzig offense, I mean, we saw this with Jacoby too, is they're down 10 points. He's got nothing. He's got nothing left in the drawer. It's just like he's down 10 points and he's like, all right, simulate to end. You guys do whatever you want. Jacoby, go draw the plays in the dirt out there. It's like the whole scheme falls apart if he can't do his like intricate little interior zone runs. So I don't think he and Petzig were ever that good of a stylistic fit either.
Are you drafting Brissett?
I am now. Yeah.
No.
I am.
No. God, no. God, no. I just simply cannot imagine. Well, I can imagine it. I think it's substantially less than 50% chance that if he's the opening day starter on the worst team in the NFL, that he's starting in the best ball playoffs. I think they'll draft somebody, like whether it's Ty Simpson or Drew Aller or whoever, and that crappy quarterback is playing the last month of the season. Like it would just seem like such a colossal waste of time for them to go through the entirety of this season, which is just purely evaluation and tanking, playing Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew. And like, even if it is just those two, like at some point they're just going to turn over to Gardner Minshew just to like see something else. Like I don't know. They're going to be like 1-12. Like, how do you justify not?
They're almost here. Let me tell you.
And you have Jacoby Brissett. Like they're going to be.
That's what they just did.
They are going to turn it over to Gardner Minshew.
They did change it. They changed it to Jacoby Brissett, but now Jacoby is the one they have to start with. Like,
they just
he's getting
didn't
through
go
17 games. No chance. He's not getting through 17 games.
They're going to do that, but then they're going to turn back. It's going to be the snip snap, the flip flop, the Michael Scott vasectomy. Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Ty Simpson.
If it's, I mean, I will certainly change my mind about this, and I'm drafting a lot of Ty Simpson under basically the Tyler Shuck corollary theorem.
You can have corollary. You can have that.
They just
basically like
the perfect team to take Ty Simpson either very top of round 2, or they trade back up with the Seahawks. They take him at pick 32, and they start Jacoby for 8 weeks. They're 1-7 with a negative 31 point differential or whatever they are.
Worse.
And they're like, all right, Ty, like, you go have fun out there, buddy. I don't know. It's just, are they going to spend 2 years on this Jacoby Brissett bullshit? That just seems like you're wasting everyone's time.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly it is a waste of time, but
I like it. There should be a rookie there. Minshew is what at this point? They're just trying to, buy some insurance.
Jacoby Brissett.
You know what? I think we have just been through so much as a country and as a nation, and honestly, Jacob, for you as a hemisphere, I think we do deserve
not even continent.
I think we do deserve Taylen Green drafted in the 5th round to the Arizona Cardinals starting in week 16, 17, and 18.
No, we don't.
I do.
Like, that would ruin Trey McBride, man. The one thing the Cardinals are capable of doing, and that they did for us last year, this godforsaken franchise, is just feed us Trey McBride fantasy points. Like, can we at least have that? I don't want Taylen Green throwing.
Well, the only person feeding you fantasy points is Brissett. If it's anyone else, McBride is dead.
I think Minshew can do what Brissett did.
Nah, Minshew is bad. Minshew is not good.
Brissett's bad. That's the whole point is that he's bad.
He's bad. He's bad in a way that is good for the game that we play.
Couldn't Minshew salvage Harrison if it went to that point?
Dude, Gardner Minshew.
Marvin Harrison needs to salvage Marvin Harrison.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison needs to have a talk with Marvin Harrison and salvage himself.
The last time that Gardner Minshew was like anything approximating like serviceable quarterback play was 2023. He was really bad for the Raiders.
He's terrible. He stinks.
Let's move on.
He was
Jacksonville.
Hours, though.
I think this is the highlight of the show, and it's sad that we don't have a right wing slappy to go to. It is perfect though, Jacob. I mean, we got the right wing propaganda. We got Evan Silva on the ETR show has already said, I expect Chris Rodriguez to be the lead running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Davis, I've decided right after the draft, once everything is set in stone, I'm going to release my Slapsis article, and I'll need you and Mr. Sam Sherman to book off 3 hours to do a live YouTube stream as we break down the Slapsis.
Yeah,
to bring our whole country together. I mean, this is fun. Let's talk about it. So I see, what is this? 80. I can't even, I have to zoom in. So ADP 50, leg up 50. I don't think that ADP is actually right.
It's close. It's very close to right, if not right. That's right about where he's going. He might have that flip flopped in terms of ADP and
his ADP is 57. His ADP is 57, not 50. So I have Chris Rodriguez, I'll first of all say, way higher than Leg Up has him. And in fact, way higher than ADP. I have Chris Rodriguez all the way up at 150, and I have Tuten at 50. So I'm actually higher on both of these guys than Leg Up is. So I don't know, maybe I'm the centrist slappy here, not the left wing slappy that Pat is. But my view overall on Tuten is just he coming out of college profiled as not necessarily a 3-down back, but at least as a versatile early down back, a back who could accumulate 40 to 50 targets while in an early down role, who was super explosive. And then last year, we didn't get a lot of the explosive ability, but we did get a really strong success rate, a strong force missed tackle rate, and a high degree of success and a high degree of usage in short yardage situations, which is a really exciting skill set. So coming into this year, LaQuint Allen is going to take the passing downs. I'm not under any illusions Tuten's going to play on 3rd down or in the 2-minute drill, because LaQuint was doing that even with Etienne there. But all the early down stuff is up for grabs. And I think it makes a ton of sense from a real life football lens for the Jacksonville Jaguars to go out and get Chris Rodriguez, who's a proven early down runner in terms of getting what's blocked and a little bit more against 2 totally unproven second-year backs. But I also think that he needs to be materially better than Tuten as a runner to justify playing time, because this is a guy with 6 career NFL receptions. I believe he has 20 career college receptions. So we're talking about a guy who's just a 0 in the passing game in a scheme that utilizes running backs in a very versatile manner. I've brought up before the fact that they had a Chris Rodriguez on this team last year, Tank Bigsby, who's also a very effective but very, very one-dimensional early down runner. And they kicked him to the curb when he could still be on this team on a rookie scale contract. So I think if Tuten shows what he can do, and he's as good as the nerds thought he was coming out of college this year, he's going to play Rodriguez off the field entirely because he can provide a lot more. And then there's not really a role for CRod. But if he struggles, then I think CRod has a chance. And yeah, I'm super in on Tuten, but I think CRod's a totally fine click because I think Allen is like basically just Dare Gumbawale to me. And if anything happened to Tuten, Rodriguez steps in as a clear handcuff, and there's a chance that he does have a weekly role. There's a chance that the right wing boomers are right and that he is the lead running back. And so I'm getting a handcuff plus to me in the very late rounds.
Two things. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, I actually think CRod at these prices is totally like whatever. I mean, the thing that I do just want to say is like, we can all just be honest. He sucks. I know he
he doesn't
good.
suck. He doesn't suck at all. He doesn't suck at all.
He's good at a very specific job. He's pretty good at gaining 3 yards when you need 1.
No, he's actually good at gaining 5 yards.
Fair enough. He's pretty good at gaining. He's pretty good at gaining 5 yards. I talked about this in a video the other day. The trade-off you make when you would install Chris Rodriguez as like your primary running back, it's actually very similar to the trade-off that the Chiefs were making when Kareem Hunt was their lead back. We're like, Kareem Hunt, pretty good, second in success rate. But guess what? You never get that 27-yard run out of anywhere. Like you just never get it. You could give him the ball. You could give him the ball 27 times in a game and you're getting 88 yards or whatever. You're never getting the explosives. And to me, I mean, the Cohen offense is kind of all about generating explosives. So I mean, honestly, without the collegiate connection, I was just so surprised. Well, I guess I wasn't that surprised since I literally called it on the show last week that Chris Rodriguez was going to be I called it as if this is the guy, then I'm going to be taking all the Tuten. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be taking all the Tuten.
I just want to know who this ETN Jacob referenced is. I don't know any running back in the NFL by that name, by that pronunciation.
Right. So he said, I never listened to the clip. He said, my name is pronounced Travis Achane.
It's close to that.
But he's been saying this for years. We just started paying attention now. He said this at his pro day in 2021. He was like, it's Achane.
Etienne.
And then everyone was like, cool, bro, you're Etienne.
And this is because he is like French Creole pronunciation or whatever.
He's from. So there was a group of people called the Acadians who lived in what is presently Nova Scotia, and then they came and immigrated to what is present day Louisiana, and they call it Cajuns because it's a 2-syllableization of Acadian. And that's where you get the French connection in Louisiana. And so much like Acadian to Cajun, Etienne becomes Etienne.
Etienne, right. It's not that far.
They drop syllables all the time. This is what they do.
But, you know, Davis, you just talked about what you said on this show last week. Have I not been saying for a long time, like a year, that there is a little bit of a thing where players come out of college and change the pronunciation of their names? I'm not sure if there's some sort of monetary value in doing that. Achane wasn't Achane in college. He was Achane. That's how we met.
Yeah.
We were talking about how to pronounce his name. And you said if it's Achu, I'm out. So I don't know. Like it's not that far apart, but yet another guy, Romeo Doubs, yet another guy deciding how we should have pronounced their name all along. Not that they're wrong necessarily, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm game for this one. You're almost doing an accent at some point, Jacob. We had Jason Botterill with the Sabres, and he would tell you his name is pronounced Botterill. Well, I don't know. I'm not doing an accent. I'm just trying to get by.
So, like, if you were a Rangers fan, you'd pronounce it like Alexis Lafreniere.
Well, no. I mean, there are degrees of
this.
Is
it Lafreniere?
Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Lafreniere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I'm only speaking one language at a time.
Like is his name Luke Robitaille?
I'm only speaking one language at a time here. No, I'm going to say no to that one too. Case by case.
So I feel this. It's funny enough. I actually feel the same way about Etienne that I feel about Achane, which I don't say Achane's name right either because Achane is cooler than Achane, and cooler. Etienne is way cooler than Achane.
Back in if it's Achane.
Yeah, I'm actually back in Achane. Like it's just right. way cooler to do the 3-letter Etienne. I don't know.
The statute of limitations passed. If we had taken him seriously in 2021 and he forced the issue, especially before we had another running back named Achane, we could have called him Etienne.
Yes.
But like at this point, I'm sorry, you're Etienne.
I wonder if their names were once the same back, a few generations ago. Let's go to San Francisco.
The Doug Peterson used to refer to him as TJ. Because he's Travis Jr.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Look where it got Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
San Francisco's passing game. Mike Evans, cool. Ricky Pearsall, let's hope. George Kittle, right. The slot demon, Christian Kirk. Just guessing. Is who we're talking about here.
Dude. I mean, sadly, I really like this. This hit me like a pile of bricks when this signing dropped. I was staring into my future, and I was like, it's week 4. Christian Kirk is priced at $4,700 on DraftKings. He's projecting as the number 1 points per dollar play of the week. We just did our ship chasing waivers. Christian Kirk went for $337 in the week 3 run of waivers. I've never seen, who is that guy who absolutely sucked? And was Dante Pettis. He's the most Dante Pettis-ass Kyle Shanahan receiver
for sure.
Of all time. Yeah.
Well, shout out to my buddies Dimitri and Thomas and the PDO cast. I joined them at AJ's in Vancouver last year for the San Francisco LA Thursday night game. And it was the game that like everyone was hurt for San Fran, but they won on the Kyron fumble. One of them had like a Kendrick Bourne escalator and the other one had a Tonjes escalator. And so they were just having the time of their lives, like counting their money from these total bums getting like 120 yards each that night. Christian Kirk just screams, it's Saturday night. We get the Schefter tweet. Ricky Pearsall is on the wrong side of questionable tonight. George Kittle has not yet returned from his Achilles tear. Oh, and Mac Jones is actually going to be the starting quarterback tomorrow morning. And all of a sudden, Christian Kirk, gets 12 targets, 11 catches, 141 yards. And then 2 weeks later, everyone's healthy and he has 1 catch for 3 yards and 0 touchdowns. He's going to have a couple weeks, I think. And you just have to hope that they're in week 15 through 17 if you happen to be drafting him.
Week 1 from Australia against the Rams. Why wait? That'll be the Thursday night. The Wednesday night is Seattle's game, and I'm guessing that's going to be against the Bears or Dallas. I doubt New England, but those are the candidates. And also, what do we do that night with waivers? the plan when the season starts on Wednesday?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Pearsall Davis, interested at all?
I mean, okay. Pearsall is such an interesting thing. Jacob and Pat and I are doing our dynasty rankings exercise, and I just pulled up his KTC thing the other day. Basically, not moved. His value, despite like doing nothing, like Ricky Pearsall has effectively been a non-entity for 2 seasons after being drafted in the first round. This dude had 53 touchdownless targets in 9 games last year while battling through a knee injury, and he's been drafted.
Also was really efficient.
I'm not saying he's like terrible or anything, but it's just like
where are the good games?
Yeah, where are the good games? And I mean, if you just assume that Mike Evans is not, if his hamstring does not melt from the substation EMFs, which by the way, I read this viral tweet thread about how EMF waves are actually making mice stronger. These group of scientists just absolutely doused mice in AirPod EMFs, and the mice that got doused with the most amount of EMFs and Bluetooth waves live the longest. So who could say?
Well, stronger in in one sense.
In one sense.
We're
yeah.
not sure
so
if they're able to lift heavy rocks.
I mean, Mike Evans is just a lot better than Ricky Pearsall, and Christian Kirk, I mean, I don't know. It just feels like he probably is like still going to be able to earn targets at like kind of a decent level. I don't know. What do you think, Jacob?
I think Pearsall is capable of being very productive if Kyle Shanahan desires him to be productive. So when he looked like he might be the wide receiver 1 for this team coming into the offseason, I was pretty darn interested. But now that that's no longer the case, outside of Mike Evans' injury contingencies, I'm a lot less interested. So I actually have him ranked the exact same as the leg up ranking, which is 84. He's at 77. I would bet that he winds up retreating closer to our 84 over time. Mike Evans remains ridiculously undervalued. Unless is that wrong? That's another ranking that I'm not sure. Yeah, that's another one. Come on, Lenars. He's at 50.9, not 61.4. I still think that's really undervalued. I have Mike Evans. I was debating him back and forth with Jaylen Waddle this afternoon. I have Mike Evans all the way up at 41. So I'm targeting him. I think he is like a better version of the Devontae Adams bet from last year, because unlike Adams, Evans could actually just dominate the targets on this team. There's no Puka Nacua here. Kittle, I know there's a lot of optimism about his Achilles return, but he's going to be 33, might miss parts of the season. And I agree. I think Pearsall is kind of like a Kyle Shanahan creation.
Okay. Risers. So, of course, Chris Rodriguez on top here. Isaiah Pacheco now with Detroit. Ken Walker, Kansas City, 19.7. Tuten again. Chigokonkwo moving to Washington, right? Geno Smith, Mike Evans, Romeo Doubs to New England. Jalen Naylor with the Raiders. Big jumps here. Well, that means the effective free agency. Yeah. Who are you just said Evans, Jacob. Like what about Doubs at this point?
Doubs, I have some trepidation with because I don't think that they're done.
Mm-hmm.
If this is where they go into the year, and it's just this room, then I think Doubs is totally fine. But I mean, I still have him higher than his ADP. I have him at 98. I think he's going to get past that, given he's steamed up 23 spots in the last week. But I think the ceiling on Doubs is limited because he's more of like an 18, 19% targets per outrun cap guy, not really a 23, 24 guy. And if they go and trade for AJ Brown, I think it's just kind of over for Doubs. And even if they were to draft someone at their pick, like a Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper, Denzel Boston, that probably takes a chunk out of Doubs. So I'm into him for now. If he starts getting into like the 7th, not too in on it.
Literally, what's the fucking point? What are you hoping for? I know it's just like it's like eat your vegetables, whatever.
We're in a new era. You want to get your early running backs now. So like
it's
Doubs,
you know what?
If you're getting 2-3 running backs, then you in the first 4 rounds, then you need a Doubs somewhere. You need a one.
I start 6 straight running backs, so Romeo Doubs fits in nice as my wide receiver 2 with Jordan Tyson.
Exactly.
Perfect. I'm buying. So Toporino buys here for me. Rodriguez in on this price. Pacheco, I'd rather just take a whack-a-mole on a rookie. Walker, I'm taking even higher than this. Tuten, I'm taking higher than this. Chig, I'm taking higher than this. Gino, I'm taking higher than this because the quarterback landscape. I've noticed this the last like 2 days. Like if you want a quarterback, dude, you just like I got sniped on Jacoby Brissett in the 13th round in a bigger board yesterday. Like if you want a quarterback, just take him.
What do you think is the rationale? Do you think this is just about no one feels good about the later round pieces before the draft? No one feels good about the rookies. And so they're taking the quarterbacks? Or my theory is 20-round drafts. Everybody wants 3 quarterbacks in a 20-round draft because you have the extra 2 spots to work with. And so you're seeing them get pushed up a little bit more because only, if we assume 1 starter to each team, only 8 of the 12 drafters can get their 3 quarterbacks. That's what I'm assuming is pushing them up a little bit more. Cause like I'm used to and some people are blaming the Sims. I think that's a big part of it too.
I mean, Karain did this, the trickle down of them finding out how important the third quarterback was, that spreading into content, that spreads into content, which then impacts ADP, which then impacts the rankings, which then impacts the people drafting, which then impacts ETR, which then impacts the people drafting off the ETR. And it's just a snake eating its tail, which then you just get you get all the data and then you get how it feels when you're drafting. And the way it feels is, well, I don't want Aaron Rodgers as my third quarterback. I don't want Ty Simpson as my third quarterback. And so
you don't even know if they're going to play. That's
you don't even know if they're going to play. So then you take Gino higher, and then Gino starts to go higher, which means, Mendoza better go higher. And if Mendoza's going higher, then Bo Nix better go higher. And you just get this cascading impact, which has basically landed with the 8th and 9th round being like the quarterback rounds. Like you just get to that round and you're like, I'm just taking a quarterback.
I mean, Pat's the one doing the Sims, or not just Pat, but his whole team. So like they could. I wish he was on to maybe counter this point, but like we have index of suspicion in the chat saying I just don't think 2 quarterbacks is viable. Well, it's definitely viable. Like there's a difference between viable and optimal. I promise you 2 quarterbacks is viable. I'm really curious on because if we're just going to keep compressing the quarterback market. Like we're not really compressing it that much at the top though. Like the top quarterbacks aren't actually going that much earlier than they've gone traditionally. So if you're telling me I have to take Jacoby Brissett in round 14, this just makes me like way more interested in taking 2 earlier quarterbacks and stopping. And then especially in these big board drafts, just cranking out a ton of the value that I think are on the late wide receivers in the rookie draft. So like I haven't drafted a ton yet, but I'm starting to draft more now. And I'm finding myself tempted to do double early quarterback, double early running back, and just taking a bunch of shots on the late rookie wide receivers is kind of how I'm building a little bit more now with how this market is moving.
Where does Daniel Jones fit into this particular landscape?
He's not an early quarterback.
Yeah, he's like a 15th round pick now.
He's
higher,
I think. Higher. I think he's like the 12th or the 13th.
Yeah.
I mean, there's somebody who stays on the field when he gets on the field.
Daniel Jones goes in the early 13th, which is our point. He's the QB 27. So you're almost out of quarterbacks by the time you're getting to Daniel Jones, and he's going in the 13th. You think about drafts, especially a couple of years ago in the 18 round formats, pretty often if you went like early quarterback and I was deciding, I'm just going to stick with 2. Like I grabbed my Lamar, I grabbed my Josh Allen. I'd be like, I'll grab my QB2 in like the 17th or the 18th.
Yep.
My last pick.
So
that's not part of the game anymore. Yeah.
A lot of what I'm doing is I'm actually taking, I'm almost kind of treating quarterback kind of like running back in the sense of like, all right, well, I'll take some Ty Simpson. I'll take some Aaron Rodgers. I'll take some Kirk Cousins. I'll take some, it was Geno Smith before he got traded. Now can't do that anymore. I'll take some Tua Tagovailoa. I'll take some Michael Penix. Like guys who are not drawing live to like need an injury, but could have performance go their way. Now, obviously, I think this meta is going to shift even more once we get through the draft and rosters are kind of more or less settled once we know who's starting for Pittsburgh and stuff like that. Like, you know, what's funny is if Rodgers goes on, I'm so mad I know this, but I think he goes on McAfee on Wednesdays, right? Isn't that it? Wednesdays?
I don't
know. I have no clue, man.
You're on your own.
I'm pretty sure it's Wednesdays, but if he goes on McAfee...
I read Das Kapital during that hour.
Yeah. I got a massage today. I don't know what day his day of the week is.
I do have a Mark's book up there. I maybe should pull it out every time I say Aaron Rodgers' name. But point being, he goes on McAfee whenever he goes on and he says, "We're getting the boys back together. Me, McCarthy, Alan Lazard. We're going to win Super Bowl for the great city of Pittsburgh."
James Starks.
He like immediately becomes like a 16th round pick, I think. Like immediately, like overnight. Yeah.
For sure. Because if you look through the list, I have it right now, just the quarterback ADP. So I think Jacoby Brissett, we talked about earlier. I think we'd all agree no one's particularly shocked if he's benched by the end of the year, right? Geno Smith, similarly, I don't think anyone is stunned if he's benched at the end of the year for some guy that the Jets draft. And then after that, we have the quarterback competition boys, Mike Penix, Tua, McCarthy, Shadur, Deshaun, and Rodgers, who may or may not play this season. So like the last quarterback really who you can say, I'm like 95+% sure that if he's not hurt, he's starting at the end of the season is Daniel Jones. He goes at 148. That's like 50 full picks earlier than usually you would get that last call quarterback. And despite that, Josh Allen, 29.8, is going basically where he's always gone. Lamar's going in the 5th. That's the latest he's gone in years. Daniels is going at 63. That's later than he went last year. Burrow, 65, about where he went last year. Caleb obviously is much higher, but he is coming off a year that was surpassing expectations, not going that much higher than the QB5 usually would go. Hurts, again, way lower than he's gone in previous years. So, like, it's not that the quarterbacks are universally getting steamed. They're just compressing. And it just makes me very interested in some of the early quarterbacks because I think we're getting the takeaway from last year is wait for the QB window because of the Lawrence, because of the Purdy. And then also you're getting, I need my 3 quarterbacks because of all the injuries and the 20-round format. I want to zig on that. I want to go double early quarterback on some of these spots, especially if you looked at like the 6th and the 7th round. Like,
yeah, I love this point.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
It's terrible in some of those ranges. Like,
I love this point.
Jaden Daniels there. I
was gonna say that's why Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson, who I like don't have like super strong feelings about as prospects relative to the market. I think the market's like mostly right on them, but it's why I'm like way over indexed on them because I'm just like, okay, well, I don't want to take Jaden Daniels on this team. I sure as shit I'm not taking DK Metcalf or Cortland Sutton. Right. Yeah, I'll take the rookies.
You know who's the wide receiver that goes right in between Caleb Williams, Jalen Hurts, and Drake May? It's Alec Pierce.
I don't. Alec Pierce is so buried in my rankings that like I literally could not say where he goes. I like, to me, that is a mystery. He and Quentin Johnson.
The 3 in a row are Alec Pierce, Parker Washington, Michael Wilson.
Like
the holy trinity of like guys that are not the profile of guys who typically hit in the round 6 area of drafts.
Yeah.
Metcalf is right there too, but that's a excellent
Metcalf.
Do you guys have a flag plant on the Falcons quarterbacks? Like, are you doing
Tua.
one or both or neither?
Tua for sure.
I think Tua starts the year, and I think either of them could end the year.
Right. If they're good, he stays in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It could be Minnesota. All right.
Bucky
Irving. Yes.
It's not just Gainwell, right? It's that they kept Sean Tucker.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Like what I mean, what's funny is I was way below market on him. Now I find myself taking him. He goes after Javonte Williams sometimes.
Wow.
I haven't gotten to the point of taking him yet. I'm actually higher than where Pat is at 43, but I had him buried down at 38.
Wow.
So I'm still 5 picks behind his ADP. But I think I could get to a point where I am picking him because I'm also way behind Gainwell's ADP His ADP doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I see Pat's behind as well. I think Gainwell's going to have a role, but I think that, like, you know, Tucker's the bigger. I think Gainwell's the third most likely to get goal line carries, right? It's either going to be Bucky or it's going to be Tucker. So you have a pass down role for Gainwell, but then if Bucky went down, Gainwell's role expands, but I don't think he's as good of a handcuff as other teams, right? Like, would you rather have Kenny Gainwell without Bucky or like Tank Bigsby without Saquon? I'd rather have Tank Bigsby without Saquon, personally. I'm not even sure you'd rather have Gainwell than Tucker.
Gainwell lost the thing that made him magic, which is a quarterback who cannot throw further than 10 yards down the field.
5.
Right. And then I think the other thing too is like Bucky's price is still too high, so I haven't gotten the chance to like action this take yet, but I think he's going to fall enough that I get there. I think that we have like jumped the shark 5% on maybe, you know what, 25% on like the Dwayne McFarlandization of our lives. And I love Dwayne. I think he's the best, but I think he's like won the war too decisively to the point where like he introduced to everybody what these specific utilization markers were. And like that made us infinitely smarter at the game.
Well, let me just stand up for my guy Gretsch here, because this is downstream from Ship Chasing's very own Ben Gretsch, the high value touches and the trap touches. Dwayne is much as
so you're standing up. You're saying I should be getting mad at Ben instead of Dwayne.
I'm saying it's all downfield from Ben's like initial CBS high value touches article.
Well, okay, so whoever, honestly, whatever, Dwayne, Yonke, Gretsch, whoever you want to call it, like, I think that like all this, I mean, I write about this stuff too in my article, so it's not like I'm innocent of this. I think that it's made our community way smarter, like to conceptualize how these running backs play in specific situations, because like not all touches, not all snap rates are all equal. It's like made us way better as a community. But I do think we've gotten a little bit unimaginative in terms of how rigid these things are. I think we're just going to see the talking point a lot last year of like, well, Bucky doesn't play on LDD and he doesn't play on SDD. And so like, what are you going to do? And it's like, maybe that's how 2026 works out, but like, maybe he just had a shoulder injury and they were like, well, it sure sucks to like pass protect and plunge into the end zone from 1 yard with a shoulder injury. So maybe we won't use him on those, but like, then he starts playing awesome at the beginning of this year. And Kenny Gainwell looks like what Kenny Gainwell was for his whole career before this Linsanity run in Pittsburgh. And like 2 weeks later, it's just 82% of the snaps for Bucky Irving, you know? And I just think that we're like, all the situational stuff is great. I just think that we have maybe closed our minds a little bit to it being prescriptive rather than descriptive. And so again, I don't think that his ADP currently yet reflects enough of a balance between like the most likely and the ceiling, but I think it's getting there, and I hope it gets there because I want to be in on Bucky Irving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's start drafting him now after that excellent speech.
See, I have such. I mean, my brain worms are pre-Gretsch. My brain worms are like proto-Rotovizian, where I actually have Bucky Irving brain worms because Bucky has a bad RAS and doesn't weigh very much. So I don't have like Bucky Irving like elusive rating, missed tackles forced in my cognition as I'm thinking about him. All I see when I see Bucky Irving is dude weighs 187 pounds, which we all have our own brain worms. We all bring our own sort of baggage to our selections. We all have our own biases, and that's one of my brain worms. That's why I like Tucker. Tucker, big boy, score touchdowns.
The Sean Tucker game in Buffalo can't be the Sean Tucker game because they lost, but 3 touchdowns and, sort of a omen of things to come for the Bills. Although Denver didn't run on them at all in the playoffs. Anyway, sorry to make it about me. Fallers, Trey Benson, Bucky, Theo Johnson, Michael Penix, Stefon Diggs, Alvin Kamara, Caleb Johnson, James Conner stays in Arizona, I guess, and Denzel Boston. What about Diggs at this point? I mean, sort of like bet into the unknown, right?
Where do we want him to sign at this point? What's Dallas would be good. I think. Well, now would Dallas be good? No, Dallas would not be good. Then you're getting like 82 targets, right?
I don't know. Sign somewhere. Like I think I just wanted to sign somewhere.
Detroit?
All right, so
slot.
But I think it's going to be late. I think it's going to be a late signing because one, I don't think anyone's going to pay him that much, and if no one's going to pay him that much, then why would he come in and like study and train? You know, instead of he can just party on boats with
people,
sex workers.
What about Washington?
That'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
No, he's still the third target. They're
What?
trading they're getting Brandon Ayuk.
The third target behind who?
Brandon Ayuk and Terry McLaurin.
We'll see if that happens with Ayuk.
Yeah, look. First of all, Brandon Ayuk's not there yet. Second of all, he's melting ice cream on his hand. Like
that was
I'm
AI.
not so sure
that was AI, by the way.
Wait, really?
Yeah, really.
That wasn't. Wait, but was it like did someone make AI about him, or did he make AI about himself?
I believe someone made the AI, and oh boy, do you not love to see it, my guy Lever Nucky. Diggs is such a Raven, buddy.
Both correct and bad.
Stefon Diggs' jersey is already on sale for 50% off at Fanatics next year. And the Baltimore Ravens Stefon Diggs jersey is already on sale. So these are the teams that I think Diggs would sign and immediately see a rise in his average draft position. The Chargers, the Eagles, if they trade AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Would hate
the
it.
Falcons have nothing. The Falcons have de nada at wide receiver after Drake London.
I like that.
That's it.
I like that for the chances of it happening.
I think the move on Diggs, we know the mechanics of underdog. You fall slower than you rise.
Correct.
Because of auto drafts. So you just sit it out on Diggs until the bottom establishes itself, unless you think he's going to sign imminently, which I don't. And then you decide whether you want to be in at the bottom price. And I think that I will want to be in at the bottom price, but I don't think 131 is anywhere close to it. I think you just let him sit there. I mean, how many of these old veterans have we seen where no one wants to click them, even if everyone's at 90% sure they're going to play somewhere? We saw it with Keenan last year, with Dobbins last year. You just let them chill until they get to the bottom, and then you just scoop it in. You just hoover it in at like pick 180.
That low, sure.
I think it's going to get really low. I think it's going to get. I think we come on here in a month. His ADP is in the 180s if he's not signed.
Is Atlanta a candidate for a rookie receiver in round one? Would think so.
What are they? Where did they? No, they don't have a round one pick. So
that's right. The Rams have their pick. There goes that idea. Kamara completely out.
I take him.
That I have no interest in.
I take him a little bit in like the 180, like whatever. It's like
even if I knew he wasn't retiring, I have no interest. He's the worst running back in the NFL by a massive margin.
Okay.
No, Chris Rodriguez is the worst running back in the NFL by a wide margin.
The last year of Zeke is a substantially better player than Alvin Kamara.
I have no pushback on that. Sad to see Denzel Adonai Mitchell as such a faller. It's true, dude has no wiggle. Can't move like Adonai Mitchell.
Well, he's actually not even going. The one thing that we used to be able to rely on with Boston was draft capital. He wasn't in the top 32 in the most recent Daniel Jeremiah mock draft. So like, if I'm not even, because Omar Cooper's kind of stolen his chain now,
and Concepcion, although Concepcion could give his chain back with this knee scope.
That's true. So like, if Boston's not even a lock for round one draft capital anymore, like, well, then it's like he's just Chris Brazzell. Like, what's the difference between Denzel Boston and Chris Brazzell if they're both going to go in the early second and they have like very mediocre analytical profiles? So I'm not interested in paying the premium on the maybe first round pick Denzel Boston when Cooper's still cheaper. Concepcion has a much better profile at a similar price. And there's like pick your poison of Zachariah Branch, Chris Brazzell, Malachi Fields, et cetera, of like day two guys that go basically free.
Ted Hurst
Ted Hurst. Yeah, like you can, if you want 4 rookie wide receivers with your last 4 picks, you can just have them.
Yeah.
So like,
man,
like
the
one thing that Boston used to have over those guys is like, well, he's going to go in round 1. So like he'll get snaps right away. But if that's not even a lock, then like, why am I paying an 8-round premium for Denzel Boston over these other guys?
What? Beware, he's got the good name. He's not Ted Hurst. He's got the good name, Denzel Boston. Yeah. There's a guy he wants. All right, news items. Davis in a second on Justin Fields, that move. Keaton Mitchell to the Chargers, cool. Cam Scadaboo says he's going to be fine for the season. We'll see. Aaron Jones back in Minnesota. Emanuel Wilson to Seattle with Walker gone. Darnell Mooney to the Giants. And then you have the Eagles, Troika. A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown today, and Dallas Goedert is back. Davis, I talked to Alex Gold today on my show on WGR about the Chiefs. And, you know, you can't know at this point, I guess, on Mahomes. But we could see Justin Fields start the opener for them.
I mean, 1, you can't know.
Severe
2,
downgrade to Rashee Rice.
It could be. The thing is if you look at the vast history of Andy Reid in Kansas City and in Philadelphia, he does not like to fuck around with backup quarterback. He prefers a guy who's started good chunk of NFL games. Carson Wentz,
Minshew.
Right. Gardner Minshew. He did this. There was like the Kevin Cobb stuff.
Chad Henne for years.
Yeah, Chad, and just kept him and kept him and kept
Chase
him.
Daniel.
Right? Chase Daniel.
Yeah, Chase Daniel, Kevin Cobb. Yeah.
Andy Reid does not want to have Drew. Like Andy Reid's. Yeah, Drew. Well, I was going to say he wakes up in a cold sweat thinking about Drew Aller having to start week 1 for him. Like, I don't want to teach this kid how to play. Like, I just want some dusty, like, 27th best quarterback in the world veteran to throw in there so I can do my Andy Reid bullshit, get us a bullshit win we don't deserve, and get Pat back on the field. That's all this is. Maybe some marginal chance if Brett Veach in the back of his head is maybe thinking, Justin Fields starts for a month, looks pretty good. We're not paying him anything. We can either get a compensatory pick when he leaves or trade him for a conditional future 3rd, or whatever. Like that's all I got there. Have
you ever seen the insiders try harder to disguise the fact that a player took a $9 million pay cut voluntarily?
No, it was really, really funny.
Because like I think they're so afraid of the Fields cult on Twitter that they because like Geno Smith, they like were very open about it. They were like, he took a big pay cut and then they wouldn't cut him and they wouldn't trade him to the Jets. Like what happened was Fields was owed $20 million this year. 10 of it was guaranteed. So if the Jets cut him, they give him 10. Well, they don't give it to him. He's already got the $10 million as a signing bonus. And he forgoes the remaining 10. And instead, the Jets were like, well, the Chiefs have agreed to pay you $3 million. So they've relieved us of $2 of the million. They will pay an additional $1 million, and then you get $8 from us. Would you like to sacrifice the other 9 or get cut? And he was like, no, I'll take the extra $1 million and I'll go to the Chiefs. And the insiders did not report it that way, but that is indeed what happened.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just a very low risk gamble. And I'm sure Andy also has, sugar plums dancing in his head of the inevitable, Justin Fields is split out at wide receiver, motions into the backfield, takes the direct snap, pitches it to Mahomes. Mahomes throws the touchdown to, pick your backup offensive tackle of choice. The number one deal on this list that has me going, why is that? Is one Mr. Keaton Missile. As a Keaton Missile bro, I mean, certainly I would say I'm a Hampton agnostic. I mean, can't you? I bet sacrilegious of legendary upside. He gave me 10-1 odds that Keaton Mitchell scores more fantasy points than Amari in Hampton this year. And
love it.
Like,
can you make a bet on leading the NFL in yards per carry? I've been trying to find
the
market
God.
today.
I mean, he'd be minus 500.
I think Keaton Mitchell to lead the NFL in yards per carry is the single best bet in the NFL.
As long as he hits the minimum, right?
That this bet exists.
He's got to hit the minimum. He's the Achane, right? He's the Achane. Hampton is the Mostert.
Which one?
Yeah.
I'm concerned about this because I'm concerned about confirmation bias. Because the day that Mike McDaniel was hired as OC, everybody was celebrating Hampton, And I put up a tweet that was like, I don't think Hampton's actually a fit for most of the fun stuff of the McDaniel offense. I think they're going to sign someone like Keaton Mitchell. And then I was right. And so like now I want to just be like, see, I was right. Hampton's a bust. Like Mitchell's going to be getting all the fun touches and Hampton's going to be, the Raheem Mostert trap back. But I don't want to get tied to my own correctness. That was my humble way of bragging about how correct I was. But I am confused. So like Mitchell is skyrocketing up the board reasonably. I'm confused that Hampton isn't dropping. And I would love for a Hampton Bull to explain to me a Marion Hampton at pick 15 while simultaneously Keaton Mitchell is skyrocketing up boards. Because I don't have Hampton as like a major fade. But I have him as a slight fade. Like I would rather have Walker and I'd rather have Love and I'd rather have, wait for this one, Davis, Saquon Barkley. So I'm a little leery of like, this thing seems to meaningfully change his outlook. Like he's not going to take the majority of the touches, but like, isn't the whole idea behind Mike McDaniel being such an upgrade for a Marion Hampton, all these candy touches that he has, the screens, the outside zone toss, like all the gadgety stuff. Like if Mitchell takes half the gadgety stuff and he's the 2023 Achane and Hampton's the 2023 Mostert with not unsustainable touchdown luck, doesn't that make him like more of a mid-second, not like a borderline first?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little bit behind market on Hampton. Part of that is how much Genty I'm drafting and how much Walker I'm drafting. Just kind of like I've got Walker ahead of Hampton, so that effectively means I never take Hampton unless someone else, honestly, multiple other people in my room would have to have it ranked the same way. Yeah, see, like to me, give me Keaton Mitchell over Monungai. Like the Kyle Monungai is the single least sensible average draft position on the board. I think.
I could not agree more. But I hate Kyle Monungai, and that's on the record.
I
want to do Emanuel Wilson real quick because I saw the market reacting to this. This is no money. This is Travis Homer money. This is he
Which
could be
one's
cut.
Emanuel Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no money, but like there's no buddy on the team.
Well, Helani.
It's more money than Rachaad White, brother.
Okay, who gets if the backfield is Mike Washington Jr.
Rachaad White?
Well, yeah, and that I think matters too. By the way, if the backfield week 1 is Emanuel Wilson, Mike Washington Jr. and George Helani, I mean, where's Manny Wilson in that rotation?
Getting the first carry.
You think? Well, Helani would definitely get the first carry just because he was on the team.
Why? Helani is a nothing. What's George
Helani? Helani is as much of a thing as Emanuel Wilson is.
I mean, like mostly fair, but I've seen Emanuel Wilson play, and I think he's good. Like I don't know, he's impressed. Fine. He's impressed me when he's gotten chances in a way that Helani hasn't really. I don't know. I think Helani is going to play like third downs and passing stuff, and then they'll draft a rookie probably. And if they like the rookie, then that'll be the starter. But I don't know. I think Wilson's kind of good. And I think this class totally sucks. And I think it's like totally possible that Wilson just outplays like insert round 3, round 2 running back from this shitty class. Like, I don't know. What if they draft Jadarian Price in round 2 and Emanuel Wilson is just better than rookie Jadarian Price? Like I think Wilson's probably better than rookie Jadarian Price.
I already got my Mike Washington Jr. Seahawks jersey. It's already ordered. So
I think Mike Washington Jr. fucking blows. I would love to bet against that loser. That guy is just a speed scorer in a trench coat. I don't care about him. I don't like.
That's all I need, brother. That's all I need.
If you run under a 4.4, you have no place on my team, and we know.
If you run under a 4.4 at 220 pounds, buddy, sign me up. I'll be giving you a blank check.
We have a Washington slide. You mentioned Rachaad White, but anybody want Marquise Brown now?
No.
I think he's a fine last call.
All right, we'll get there soon.
The smart move for Marquise Brown is don't announce your number yet, because if AJ gets traded, take 11 and then nobody has to change their jersey.
So I actually have
the jersey still works. Everyone in the stands is going to look a lot more like Hollywood Brown than AJ Brown. So
the fans will love him for not having to fix their jerseys.
That's what I'm saying. Wait and take 11. Save the fans.
I've got an alternate slide for the Washington running backs, which is this is what they're trying.
I like this.
This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to recreate Jeremiah Love in the aggregate, but instead they've created the worst player of all time. They just
hair. Derek White's hair is killing me.
They're really, there's not a good football one of these. The NBA Twitter is much funnier.
I thought I recognized Kelvin Benjamin's midsection on the football.
That is Kelvin Benjamin's midsection. I mean, these dudes, God love them. You know, we did the Bill Krosky Merit Wars. We ultimately were proved correct with a 25-point performance in week 17. So the Bill Bros were right.
That's good to hear.
He's not good. Jeremy McNichols is worse. Jerome Ford
kind of good.
He's you know what is very funny is he's ultimately good in like kind of a like reverse CRod way where he's gonna have a lot of carries that go for 1 year. Kind of like Aldi. They probably don't have Aldi in Canada. They're dollar. He's like dollar store Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, well, and they have two of those now because Jerome Ford's the same.
Yeah, but Jerome Ford is like. He's like bad. Like it's Jerome Ford. Come on.
Okay. I like what they've done with the place. Rachaad White, despite being like, I think I said DeVon Achane was one of like the players I consider most synonymous with thinking about thinking. I think hating on Rachaad White is probably the thing that I think is second most synonymous with thinking about thinking. But despite that, great third down back. And I think they have two running backs that are like very flawed. But who next to Jaden Daniels, you know, in a zone read heavy scheme are fast and you get them into space and they could do some stuff. Like I bet they could have similarly to frankly what they had last year, a like top 10 EPA running back room while spending like $4 million combined on it. So I applaud what the Washington Commanders have done. I still think if Jeremiah Love gets to 7, they're storming up to the stage to select him.
What are the odds? Less than 50-50 at this point, it sounds to me.
Well, it just depends on what odds you think of the Titans and the Giants, right?
The Giants, yeah.
I would guess the Titans are like probably close to 50-50, and then if they don't pick them, then the Giants are probably I'll say they're a little less than 50. I'll say they're like 40-60. So okay. I'll say it ends up being, I'll say that leaves me with 20% Giants, 30% Commanders, and 50% Titans. That's where I'm at on the Love sweepstakes.
Not getting past Washington. We got to get Jacob to his friends. Last call without Pat.
We'll be playing odds tonight. Here, odds. I finished this 1-1 since it's almost 6 p.m.
Man. All right, so I need to start thinking. I need to start thinking about getting some running back points. I have not taken my guy yet, so I'm just gonna take. I'm gonna take my guy, Adam Randall. Strong performance at the Clemson Pro Day. I remain a fan of any running back who is 400. Sorry, 400. That would really be something. 235 pounds and can catch passes.
So for the record, this pick is not Theo Wees Jr. That's what we're doing here.
Because I am behind at running back. I feel confident at getting caught up at wide receiver. So I'm gonna go Adam Randall.
Okay,
Jacob, you got a name?
Well, look, I mean, I have a clear problem spot at quarterback, but I don't think there's anything I can do to solve that at this point, other than just wait for guys to drop past 200. I think. So I'm not even going to pretend that that's a fixable issue.
There is a quarterback who's for sure going to make some starts.
Don't.
No, I agree that there might be, but I'm going to press my advantage, which is racking up all of the rookies and the wide receivers. So here's my prediction. It's not really mine, but I retweeted it from Hayden Winks. Miami Dolphins have a big need at the wide receiver position, and I hear there is a rookie scale player in a contract season who is consistently beating man coverage go over to your
They're
friends.
not gonna. They're not gonna do this.
Packers
It's way too.
Southeast.
It's way too
Give
fun.
me
They're not gonna do it.
Dontavian Wicks.
Oh, baby.
Jacob, you were finishing last place in this game by so much. You were gonna get smoked in this game.
Did you see the fucking CLV I got on Mike Washington Jr.? Unbelievable.
And Zachariah Branch. You got some problem spots though.
Make sure you look at my roster before you claim that on
Richardson's gonna get some starts.
Well, I'm going to Deshaun Watson.
There you go. That was who I was alluding to.
I tried to stop you, and I appreciate your willingness.
The other Browns quarterback honestly works too. He's going to get some starts as well.
I did consider Shedeur. I can't say that I considered Rapey McGee, but Shedeur I considered.
All right, boys. Fun night. Sorry we didn't have Mr. Carrain on St. Patrick's Day. What's other than tonight's festivities, Jacob? What's next for you professionally?
Well, I wrote 2 articles today. Thinking about thinking. I had one rapid fire reaction to Jaylen Waddle, and then I did a mailbag, which fielded 23 questions, and I answered one of them in 3,000 words. So I decided to just send that and then get to the rest later. Yeah. So one and the question was, why don't you do buys or sells on your dynasty rankings sheet? And then I went into a big diatribe about why individual league economies are necessary. And so anyways, enjoy that for my dynasty people. If you want more on Jaylen Waddle, I wrote that up. And then I will finish the mailbag with the other 22 questions later in the week. And we'll have all of the individual draft profiles basically dropping on a weekly basis by position until the NFL draft.
I love that. In the 80s, 90s, there was a golfer named Lauren Roberts.
Yeah,
he was nicknamed the boss of the moss, because he was such a great putter. And it was said that when he would give lessons, and his students would be like, where do I line up? Where should I hit it? He's like, I don't know how hard you're going to hit it. So how can I tell you that? Individual economies. How hard are you going to hit the putt? Tell me that. Then I'll tell you where to line it up.
Nice.
Boss of the moss. Davis, how about you?
I love it.
We are doing our big dynasty roundtable tomorrow. Jacob, I need you to send me your dynasty rankings for that so I can make our fancy spreadsheet.
I can do that.
How do I never see these roundtable podcasts? How come they never come up? I want these shows. Where are they? Do I go to where I can normally find my favorite podcasts? Will they appear there?
They're on YouTube.
Do you want them in CSV form or in Google Sheet form?
I want them in semaphore. I want flags, and I want you
want cuneiform. We could work on getting you.
I want Sanskrit.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna be. I mean, we did 2.5 hours on the rookies, so I can't really imagine actually how long we're gonna go.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'd say 5 to 6.
It's gonna be a big.
What time are we starting again? 12:30 Pacific.
I believe we agreed on 12:30 Pacific. Yeah.
Okay. I should be over my hangover by then.
I hope so. Get what's the Anthony Bourdain spiciest Chinese food imaginable, full sugar Coke and a joint.
I actually have an even earlier obligation, so I'll be fully out of the hangover because I'll shout that out to me and Ryan Heath and Theo Greminger on the Fantasy Points channel. We're doing a 3-round rookie mock draft tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. My voice is going to sound like this, but I'll be there and I'll be having fun. So see you guys soon. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and go Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic.
Bye, everybody.
Bad news on that front.
Is it?